Welcome to practice. This is a backbending practice, and I would say it's probably a level 2 Vinyasa class. You can always adapt the postures as needed to best support your body, and that's actually where I kind of want to start our discussion. So come to a seat on a blanket. You always want your hips higher than your knees. And bring your hands and just rest them on your knees, and either close your eyes or close them 9/10 of the way. In a really strange way, yoga asana has become a disembodied practice. And what I mean by that is that in an embodiment practice, we are trying to get really present with the full spectrum of experience and with what is. And often in modern yoga asana, everything is so focused on imposition and on changing circumstances that we are always the mover and the doer instead of being moved and doing so we can be. And this sounds a little funny because I'm about to teach a vigorous backbending vinyasa practice, but there's a way in which we can approach ourselves and our practice and be both the mover and moved, where we can inquire and impose and work out of a place of intimacy with ourselves so that the practice is not so correctional all the time. In The Body Keeps Score, he says our sense of agency and how much we feel in control is defined by our relationship with our bodies and its rhythms. Our waking and sleeping and how we eat, sit, and walk contours our days. And in order to find our voice, we have to be in our bodies, able to breathe fully and able to access our inner sensations. So my invitation to you today is that you would not just override all of the sensation in the body, but that you would really make an effort to attune to the dialogue in your system and in your body as you're practicing, to transcend nothing and include everything and be really willing to see the entirety of who and what you are. Because when we hold that kind of awareness and we're not trying to correct and change ourselves, that's actually when we undergo transformation, is just in that open seeing. There's a term in the Buddhist tradition that gets translated as equanimity, and it really means to see with understanding. So this capacity to anchor ourselves in the body and broaden our viewpoint and see everything is really about taking the macro view of things so we don't get so lost in all the little details. And that puts us in a place of responsiveness rather than constant stimulus and reaction. And all of it anchors back to being able to ground in present sensation. So for just a moment, before we do anything to the breath or we start to act on our experiences or act on our bodies, I want you to just feel what's already there. Feel the movement of the breath. Not even changing the breath, but just feeling what's already there. And very quickly you'll notice that it changes rapidly. Your attention might ping pong to an intense sensation in your wrist, and then move to a sensation in your belly. Without grasping for anything, just let your attention sort of bounce. And part of your brain in the middle cortex that is this part of awareness, it's sensational awareness, is the part of the brain that is connected to emotional transformation. And it's full acceptance and engagement with this piece of ourselves that really allows for those shifts in time. And now start to gently impose upon yourself with an Ujjayi breath. So inhale and exhale through the nose, creating an audible oceanic breath. Little constriction in the back of the throat. Still present to sensation, but again, kind of riding that line between imposing and inquiring. Somewhere between a 4 and an 8 count breath. Good. We're going to enliven ourselves with a little emptying out in preparation for the practice. We're going to pump out a Kapalabhati breath for about 30 seconds. We'll forcefully snap the abdomen back and exhale out the nose, kind of like a little bunny rabbit sniffing out a birthday candle, if bunnies had birthday parties. But you're going to do this really easefully. So rather than an aggressive Kapalabhati, I want you to keep your face and your shoulders really soft. So please take a nice deep breath in. And begin. Good. Keep going. Out, 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 out. Just feeling the tone of the abdomen. In the ancient dialogue, this is a psychic cleanse for the astral eye. So again, this middle cortex of the brain that is the part of our awareness that feels and connects in present moment. The other type of awareness that you have is your autobiographical self that story tells. And it's that part of our awareness that often crystallizes and gives us fixed ideas about who we are. And it's the feeling self that takes us into a more present reality. Good. Pause. Take a deep breath in. 3 more little sips. Hold your breath. Squeeze your abdomen, your pelvic floor, and think that you're like a tube of toothpaste. Squeeze up, 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 and then exhale out the crown of your head. And then with gentle awareness, softly open your eyes. And Mark is going to be the body that you'll follow along today. I'm going to step back. Mark, we're going to begin in a supported bridge pose. So come to lie on your back. And for this posture, you're going to want 2 blocks on their highest height. If that's too much pressure on the sacrum, you can always flip them on their side. Push into your feet and place those 2 blocks underneath of your sacrum. Very good. And then just a nice, easeful bridge pose here. It's nothing to do. I really love opening practices with supported back bends like this to open up the whole front body of potential. The position of the body, the housing of the lungs is now super available, so let yourself just receive your breath. If you think about a back bend, they're round, right? A forward fold is lines and angles, but a back bend is creating a sphere. And so the goal as we move into a back bend practice is to remove the lines and make things more spherical. And, in this dialogue then, instead of immanence and transcendence, it's center and circumference. It's having range and the ability to move in a lot of directions out of a stable place. And this is what we invite when we work with present sensation. So even as now you're imposing on your system, you're putting it in a back bend, you're working with the breath, can you keep part of your awareness in that feeling self? What's alive in this moment? If there's discomfort, can you hold the discomfort without attaching to it? Really be present for yourself. Just a few more rounds of breath here. These last few rounds of breath, really bring your attention to the chest and feel the buoyancy in the heart space that is supported by the ground below. One of the gifts of starting to take the macro view of life is you start to trust in its buoyancy, in that we're held, in that when a door closes, that another one will open, and that there will be a way through, as long as we stop hammering in the same direction we were before. And again, it's through present sensation and attunement with what life is offering us now that we start to build that trust and the buoyancy. And one of our pathways to that is just ever-present attention to sensation. And we can't do that all the time in our lives. That would not be functional, but we can practice it on our mats. And that increased sensitization can then carry with us through our day. And when you're sensitive to what the body is speaking, you can set better boundaries. You're more attuned to your needs if you need rest or if it's a day to push a little bit. So as you take these last few breaths, check in with yourself. What message is body speaking today? And how can you honor that even in the course of the semi-vigorous practice that is to come? Last big breath. You might even sigh out your mouth a little sweetly. And push into your feet and remove the blocks out from under your sacrum and set them aside. Good. And then roll over to one side and just pause there for a moment. Be mindful of how you're transitioning today. And then use your top hand and press yourself up to all fours. Good, so we're going to start to open up the shoulder girdle, because if you think about a back bend, we need to work with the hips and open and prepare them. We need to stabilize the posterior train, that's your glutes, and we need to open up the shoulder girdle. So you're going to place a block on the top of your mat, and you're going to take the block in an L shape on its lowest height. So just like this, your hands are going to form around the block, and you're going to lower down to your elbows. Really nice, good. And for today, if you have a strap, I would strap your shoulders in. So we're going to strap in Mark's shoulders. You're welcome to strap yourself in. He has a friend, so I can help him here. But if you're at home, you want them to be shoulder distance apart. I really love these self-clippable straps because they're just so easy to work with. Does that feel like it's nice and firm? Good, and that will keep the elbows from splaying open. So now curl your toes under and come into a dolphin pose. Good, super nice. So what exactly? So a little bend in the knees is going to help you to blow out the angle in the shoulder, because that's the goal, right? As I mentioned, is to take the angle out. So keep tilting your pubic bone and your pelvic floor up towards the sky. That's it, Mark. Nice. And we're going to work with 3 stages here, holding onto the block to build increasing rotation in the shoulder. So this is our step 1, a few big breaths here. And I bet Mark could even walk his feet in a tiny bit. Yes, good. And now lift your tailbone a little higher to the sky. Yes, do you feel that? Nice, super good. I'm just going to give him a tiny bit of pressure on his shoulders. Yeah, you feel that? So nice. Good. Wonderful. And then you at home to lower back down your knees. We're going to change the hand position now to, again, deepen the rotation in the shoulder. So now you're going to clasp the block like you were karate chopping the block. Yeah, you can bring it between your hands. And you can feel here there's now more rotation in the armpit, right? So it's a little different sensation. And then same thing back into the dolphin. And you can always do this against a wall too, which can give you some nice pressure. It's different, right? So now really work to turn the armpit towards your spine. So that's called external rotation. And keep poking the tailbone up to the sky. Yes, that's it. And again, the goal is to take the curve out of the shoulder. So when you were down on all fours, there was a 90-degree bend in the shoulder girdle, and now we're trying to blow that out to make it more spherical, which is our back bend. Beautiful. And then lower down to the knees. The last one, this is our biggest amount of rotation. Palms up now so that the pinky edge of the hand is pushing into the block. Anchor the forearms down, and same thing back into the dolphin. This is going to look aggressive. I promise it's not. I'm going to stand on Mark's hands. Good. Still okay? Yeah, and you can sandbag your hands. Sometimes here I'll put a 10-pound sandbag on each one. Feels good, doesn't it? Yes, and then armpits towards your heart still. Really nice. One more big breath. Good. And then gently back down to all fours. You're going to unclip the strap around your shoulders, and now you'll place 2 blocks across the mat on their second highest height with the long edge parallel to the front of the mat. And then bring your elbows onto the blocks in sort of a variation of Anahatasana. And I like to bring my hands to prayer and my thumbs to my spine. And then you're just gonna drop through. Yes, good, nice. And some of you that are more flexible, your head might easily start to come towards the floor. If this is too much, you can also do this on a chair or against the wall. And you'll notice Mark's not totally collapsed here. There's still some engagement, even as he's allowing his chest to sink to the floor. So again, we're just really preparing the shoulder girdle for the movement. We started in a stable way in that dolphin pose, and now there's a little more of a passive stretch, letting gravity do a bit of the work for us. 3 more big breaths. Last 2. Really nice. Good. And then gently come up and off of those blocks. And set the blocks to the one to each corner of your mat, so you'll be able to grab them later. Off to the side is fine. Very good. Nice. And then come into a downward facing dog. Just a normal one for a moment. Now please grab the edges of your mat with your hands. Yep. And then widen your feet nice and wide and sink your chest towards the floor. This feels so good. It's one of my favorite variations of down dog. There's so many ways we can play a down dog, and how you play the down dog is going to give you something different. So with yoga poses, it's not about what's right or wrong. It's what does it give you, right? Here we get more of this broadening and opening in the chest. Good. One more big breath like that. And now walk your hands back into a normal down dog and your feet back to a normal down dog. Good. And then walk your hands back to your feet at the back of your mat. Really nice. Good. Hang over your legs for a moment. You can take opposite palm to opposite elbow. Just a little moment of turning inward. Maybe shift the weight a little more towards the ball of the foot. And then again, we've imposed quite a bit on the body. Can you pause and inquire inside and feel what's happening? Almost like a little Polaroid picture, snapshot of the moment. And then either a spinal wave or a flat back to come all the way up to stand. Nice, beautiful. Okay, so now you're going to need your strap again. You're going to clip the strap around the middle of your thighs, and you want it so that when you push out into the strap, you're still hip distance apart. I'm a big fan of these self-clippable straps. They're just really easy, and you'll see it's pretty interesting. He didn't have to do much because your shoulder is the same distance as your hips. So we had already measured his shoulder, so he really didn't have to do anything. I've said this many times to anyone who takes class with me, your body is a math equation, and it's meant to fit itself. So if you measured it correctly at the shoulder, it's now going to fit around your thighs. Now you might have a lot of muscle on your thighs or something, so you have to, move it a little bit. Like Mark has big lats and shoulders, so there's like going to be a little adjustment, but it's pretty darn close, right? Good. So now I want you to push out into the strap. Nice and firm. And you'll feel your glutes are going to engage here. So part of what we're going to explore is how to use your glutes in a back bend. We're often told to release our glutes in back bends. If you release them completely, there's no stability to support the front body opening. If you squeeze too far, those are external rotators, and your hips are going to go like this. This happens in Urdhva Dhanurasana, or wheel pose, for a lot of students because their arms aren't strong enough to push up, so they spin their feet open because they're using their glutes to pop themselves up. So the strap is going to support some of that movement for you. So here, I want you to bring your hands to your sacrum with your fingertips down, hug your elbows in, drive your pubic bone forward and back bend here. And you can bend your knees a little bit if you want to and exaggerate it, almost like you were going to do a drop back, but don't. Yes, push out into the strap. And you'll feel that the strap supports the back bend. So nice. Good. Come on back up. I'm going to take a variation of a sun salutation here. So push out into the strap, stretch your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Push out into the strap and exhale, forward fold. Pause at the bottom, really push out into the strap, and inhale, halfway lift. And you'll feel here now, you don't have to use your back because the glutes are on. Exhale and fold down. Good, walk your hands forward to a down dog. Pause there, push out into the strap. Good, shift forward to plank. Nice, and you might need to adjust here if your down dog was a little short. And now I want you to draw your pubic bone towards the mat into floating up dog and push out into the strap. Nice and firm. Yes, good. And back to down dog. Push out into the strap, spin the inner thighs back, and now walk your hands back to your feet again. It's really nice. Inhale and halfway lift, long spine, push out into the strap. Exhale, fold. Now super hard, push into the strap so you can use your glutes, push all the way up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana, circle your arms up. Yes, so good. Exhale, Tadasana. And relax for a moment. So you should really be able to feel, the way the gluteal stability supports the lift to the back, right? It takes it out of the back. When you're in your ground of being, your legs, your pelvis, your glutes, you don't have to overuse the back. And it says a lot about our culture. We are a ground of doing culture. We do everything with our back, with our arms, with our shoulders. We're burdened here. And so what we're doing is learning to find our range and our sphere from a stability in the lower body. So back bends are potential and they're a vision practice, but you can't get that until it's stable. And that's what the strap's giving you. So let's do that again. Inhale, stretch your arms up, push out into the strap. Exhale, hinge forward and fold. So nice. Inhale, halfway lift, push out in. Good. Exhale and fold. Walk your hands forward to downward facing dog. And once you're in the down dog, push out into the strap. And again, spin the inner thighs back. Shift forward to plank. Good. Draw your pubic bone towards the mat, up dog. Really nice. So good. Back to the down dog. And then walk your hands back to your feet again. Inhale, halfway lift. Push into the strap. Fold forward, exhale. Push into the strap, Urdhva Hastasana, arms alongside of your ears, big breath in. And exhale, arms to your side. Good, take your hands to the top of the seat again, just so we can see how that's shifting. Hug the elbows in, lengthen your tail, push your pubis forward and back bend. Lift up and off of the kidney band. You can even bend your knees forward if you want and really exaggerate it. Yes. So nice, Mark. Good. Come back up to stand. Really nice. One more time through the sun salutes. Inhale, push arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hip crease, press out into the strap. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, crawl the hands forward. Deep breath in. Good. Exhale it out. Forward to plank. Good. Inhale, draw the pubic bone to the mat, floating up dog. And then send the hips back. Exhale, down dog. Push out into the strap. Walk your feet back to hands to your feet. Inhale, half lift. Bow down, exhale. That's it. Deep breath in all the way to stand, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to your side. Good. Unhook the strap. And now we're going to do the same back bend. I want you to see if you can remember the feeling and use a little bit of gluteal activation to support yourself. So hands to the glutes, lengthen the sacrum, pubic bone down. Yes. Or pubic bone towards your navel center, pardon me. So nice. Good. Beautiful. And then gently lift it back up. So nice. Good. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Hinge from your hip crease, fold forward. Crawl your hands forward to downward facing dog. Very nice. Pause here for a moment. Inhale, shift forward to plank. This time, exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, bend the elbows straight back. Upward facing dog, toes curled under. Downward facing dog. Ooh, extra chaturanga. Yes, that's my fault. I told him before class to do chaturanga, up dog, chaturanga. But then I decided to be nice, but he went for it anyway. I like the commitment. Stretch your right leg up high to the sky. Bend the knee, roll open the hip, scorpion dog. Really lengthen your pubic bone towards your navel center so you can get more into the hip flexors. Yes, lean back. That's super beautiful. One more big breath here. Square the hips, straighten your right leg, and now step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Yes, very good. Turn your right toes slightly out and optionally come down onto your forearms. Good. And if you're down on your forearms and you feel like you're overly rounded here, you can always place blocks under your elbows, which I'm going to do to Mark. And now put your elbows on there. That's so much better because do you see how now you can lengthen? So pubis to navel to sternum is traveling forward. And then that back leg is lifting nice and powerful. That looks so good. Amazing. Very good. Now we're going to spin it open. So you're going to bring your right hand to your right knee, and you can spin your left forearm open this way towards the left. Yeah, palm down. Or you can even come up on your fingertips. And now arch your back away from your knee rather than pushing on your knee. Yeah, you might come up on your fingertips there. Good. Yes. So I want you to bring your hand here for a moment and then back bend away from your knee. That's it. And now take your arm up to the sky. Good. Look at your chin down towards your sternum for a moment and now re-extend the head and then rotate it. Yes, good. Because then you're spinning the head on its axis, right? Instead of cranking the neck. Nice big breath. Beautiful. Take your right hand back to the floor. Move the blocks aside and step back, downward facing dog. Please listen, a little bit different vinyasa than you might be used to. Come forward right into floating up dog, chaturanga, floating up dog, re-straighten the arms, and then downward facing dog. And pause for a moment, just give it a second, feel the breath. Super nice job, Mark. Good. I'll assume you're doing a good job at home too. Stretch your left leg up to the sky. And then bend the knee, roll open the hip. And the more you lengthen the tailbone into the body, the more sensation you'll get in that hip flexor to really open up the front body. Good. A couple big breaths here. Re-straighten the leg and then step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Really nice transition. And you can see he had to kind of lift his hips. That's part of the process. You might need to turn your toes out a little bit to give yourself a little more space and then come down on your forearms if you wish. Again, you can always put blocks under your forearms like Marcus. And then lengthen from your pubic bone to your navel to your sternum. Every single pose has a back bend in it. So find the back bend of lengthening through the front body. So we're not collapsing into the pose, but it's elevated. Again, because it's always out of stability that we find our range. A couple more big breaths here. Good. If you're staying down on your forearm, you're going to pivot your right palm out to 2 o'clock or come up on your right fingertips or palm. Take your left hand to your knee and then back bend away from the knee. Yes, good. And then stretch the arm up. So it's not so much about pushing the knee away as back bending away from it. And then drop your chin in line with your sternum, re-extend the head, back bend, and then pivot it to the sky. Do you feel how much more length there is in your neck? Yeah, it's so beautiful. Couple big breaths here. Making it a real sphere. I know you're making lines right now, but envision yourself in a bubble. That's what we're doing with the back bend. The lines are a reference point to a sphere. In all of nature, there's no lines. Lines always reference a circle. The lines are an illusion. Take another big full breath. Right, Mark? Yes, he's a philosopher. He nodded yes, so it's science, guys. Good. Take your left hand back down to the mat, and please listen, step to downward facing dog. Good. Wonderful. Pause for a moment. Just feel your 2 feet, your 2 hands. You can wiggle around a little bit. Go out of imposition and back into inquiry. What's present for you right now? Can you take another snapshot? Can you tune in again to the sensation and what's arising from the experience? And then come forward to a plank pose and lower to your abdomen, please. Variations of Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Bring your fingertips out wide so your hands are under your elbows. Yeah, just like that. Push your pubic bone into the mat and inhale, curl your chest up. Really nice. Good. And this might look different for you. Some of you might be up super high. It might be a lower cobra. It doesn't matter. Exhale, lower back down. 2 more like that, nice and fluid. Inhale, coil the chest up. Exhale, lower back down. We're going to stay up this time. Inhale, curl up. Yeah, maybe even a little wider. Now look over your right shoulder. And you can really even lean into it. Yes, good. And then go back over to the other side. Lean into rotating over the left shoulder. Make it juicy. Come back to the center and lower down onto your abdomen. Once again, pause. Nice. You can stack your hands if you wish. Turn your head to one side or down. Just feel again into the body. We're playing this little dance between imposing and pausing, imposing and inquiry. And that's really how we want to be off of our mats too, right? Like we don't always need to be in self-correction mode. It's, if anything, problematic, right? Instead, it's like, can I feel, observe, be with what is, be more accepting of myself and of what life is offering me, and allow transformation to come out of that observation. Good. Bring your hands next to your ribs and press up to all fours. Nothing too exciting. Good. Organize yourself, hands directly under your shoulders, knees under your hips. And now inhale, stretch your right arm and your left leg away from each other. Good. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, lower. Right arm, left leg. Exhale. Left arm, right leg. Good. Now listen. Right arm, left leg reaches long. Pause. Now bend your left knee. Reach back with your right hand and grab your ankle. Kick into your hand. Find a little back bend. And just go to a place that's appropriate for you, right? So it doesn't need to be your biggest back bend. Whatever is available to you. Again, tuning into sensation to make that decision. Nice and slow. Re-extend everything long. Lower it back onto the mat. Left arm, right leg. Big reach. Bend the right knee, reach back and grab a hold of the ankle. Kick into your hand, open your chest. Nice and powerful. Really beautiful. Re-extend everything long. Exhale, hands and feet to the mat. Downward facing dog. Really good. Wonderful. Stretch your right leg up to the sky. And step your right foot between your hands now. Good. Get your knee in your armpit. So wiggle it a little over to the right. Perfect. And then drop to your left knee. Good. Press into the baby toe side of your foot. Straighten your back leg. Lift your knee off of the floor. Good. Widen your left hip and then lower back down. Yes. So nice. That's beautiful. The spread of the top of the foot is the spread of the knee. So now when you lower that back down, do you feel how there's less pressure in the knee joint? Now all I want you to do is curl your chest off of your thigh without changing anything. Lift your arms up. Yep. Drive your pubic bone forward. That's so nice. And push into the ball of your front foot. So it decompresses the lower back, right? We're in the range. We're in our stability. That's super nice. Good. I didn't have him grab his blocks. You might have to grab yours. You're going to take your right hand to your block now. He has me here to put it for you. You might have to grab yours. And now a big side bend up and over. And then once you're in the side bend, ever so slightly turn your chest towards the sky, right side of the chest, to get a little more into the psoas. Nice. Really good. All the way up and over to the other side now. Left hand to the block. Start with the side bend. Put your left hand on a block and then big reach up and over with the right hand. And once you're in the deep side bend, a little tiny rotation through the chest to get again into the psoas. So you might feel nothing. You might feel a little cramping around the navel. Yeah, that's your psoas. Keep driving the pubic bone forward. Good. And then come back up to the middle. Very nice. Wonderful. Okay. Bring your right hand to your knee. Bend your left knee and reach back and grab it. Good. And if you can, grab it with your right hand as well. And now interlace your fingers if you can and kick slightly into your hand. So rather than pulling your heel towards your butt, kick it away from you and drive your pubic bone forward. Yeah, it's big rectus femoris stretch. So right into the front of the quad. That looks awesome. So nice. Good. And very gently release the back foot. Take your arms up one more time, big breath in. Hands to the mat. Downward facing dog. Good, and then get nice and still in the down dog. Take 3 more big full breaths in your downward facing dog. Just a little pause between all the activity, again to check in with what's happening in your interior space. Stretch your left leg up high to the sky. And squeeze your knee to your nose to step your left foot between your hands. And once you arrive, get your left knee in your armpit so the pose is really well organized, and drop to your back knee. Press the top of your right foot into the mat and lift your back knee off of the floor. Roll a little more towards the baby toe side of the foot. Yes, and then redescend the knee. The spread of the foot is the spread of the knee is the spread of the sacrum. Now lengthen from pubic bone forward to peel your chest off of your thighs. Drive the pubic bone forward. Yes, and then push into the ball of your front foot. This will lift you off of your kidneys. It's buoyant, right? And we're, again, thinking about finding that arch, the line referencing an arch. Good, another big full breath here. Good, next in-breath, we're gonna go up and over into the side bend to the left. So take a deep breath in and then exhale, side bend. Left hand to the block. Start with the side bend before you rotate. Once you're over, there's a little sense of the left side of the chest tilting towards the sky as you drive your pubic bone forward to really find that psoas. Super nice. Good, deep breath. Awesome. And then come back up to the center and now go up and over to the right. So lift up through the left side body, compressing right side. And then after you're deep in the side bend, turn the chest ever so slightly, right side of the chest coming towards the sky. And again, the pubic bone is still driving forward. If you want one thing, you have to do everything. So you keep pushing into the top of the back foot, the ball of the front foot, referencing lifting off of the kidneys, referencing the side bend. It's like you got to do it all, right, to really find that sphere. So nice. Come back up to the center. Good. Both arms up. Now take your left hand to your knee and then bend your right leg and reach back and grab your ankle. Good. And if you can't do this part, it's totally fine to keep both hands, one hand on the knee. You can reach your opposite hand back and grab. Now, it's your practice. You might have both hands down and just be doing a lizard lunge here. If you're in this shape, I want you to think that you're kicking your hands, your foot into your hand and driving your pubis forward. So again, it's like making a big sphere. That's really nice. 3 big breaths, please. Last big breath. And then mindful of the transition, slowly release the back leg. Stretch your arms up one more time, big sense of lift. And then bring your hands to the mat and step back, downward facing dog. Good. This time, inhale, shift forward, up dog, floating up dog right into it. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana, bend the elbows straight back. Good. Re-straighten the arms, up dog. Downward facing dog. Really nice. Pause and rest. Good. And we're going to practice a Satali breath here to cool the body down a little bit. So you're either going to curl your tongue or bring your tongue between your teeth, and it's going to sound really slurpy. I want you to pull the in-breath over your tongue and exhale out the nose. Real slurpy. It's a great place to feel sensation. Satali breath will cool you down. Exhale out the nose. One more time. Exhale. Nice. Stretch your right leg high to the sky. Knee to nose to transition your right foot forward. Good. This time, pin your back heel down and come right into extended side angle, Utthita Parsva Konasana. Good. The adaptation of this, of course, is to bring your right elbow to your knee, or your hand is on the floor like Mark. Oh, you can keep your hand down. They'll understand. Good. And then turn the right side of your chest towards the sky. Hug your right hip to the midline of the mat. That's super nice. Beautiful. One more big full breath here. Good. Straighten your right leg, Trikonasana. Yes. Good. Nice. We're going to take a little variation here. Take your left arm alongside of your ear and bow your ribs. So I want you to think that you're rounding your left side body towards the sky and imagining you are trying to touch your left fingertips to your right toe. You can imagine my hands were on your ribs and you were trying to breathe. Yes, breathe into my hands. So we actually have the capacity to like push the breath into different parts of the body. We often breathe front to back, but we can breathe in all directions. So expand through those intercostal muscles. Those are the muscles between your ribs. It'll help to support the back bends. All of this tissue is involved. One more big full breath here like that. Nice. Re-straighten your left arm and lengthen through your side body. Now bring your left hand to your hip for balance. Look down at your right hand and transition into Ardha Chandrasana half moon. And if you want a block under your hand, you can have a block. This looks so nice, Mark. Lengthen your tailbone. And if you wish, take Ardha Chandrasana, Chapasana, bending your left knee, catching a hold of the ankle and really back bending. And you can even really bow your chest towards the front of your mat. So nice. It's almost the same pose. Ooh, Mark's getting frisky. I'm going to make him laugh and fall. I shouldn't do that. That's mean. See, I did that. You looked so good. It was beautiful. Kick into your hand. Nice. Re-extend your leg. Good. Transition back to extended side angle. Yes. Big breath in. Take your left hand to the mat and step back downward facing dog. He surprised me. It got so pretty. I was like, oh, he's going no hands. Good. It looked awesome. If you wish, take the vinyasa here. If you're getting fatigued, shoulders are fatigued, then you can just pause and rest in down dog or child's pose. Nice. So beautiful. The balance of doing the chaturangas and then those big up dogs and shoulder openers is we're building both range and stability. And that's what we want. Take another moment in the down dog just to reconnect again. In between the imposition, can you pause and feel? And it doesn't mean that we stop every time we run into a difficulty, but we're not just overriding what shows up in the body, right? We're teaching our bodies, our nervous systems, our hearts that they can trust us. Every time you listen and tune in, you cultivate trust within yourself through the feeling sense of the body. Take your left leg up high to the sky. Good. Transition your left foot between your hands. Nice. Pin the back heel down, extended side angle. Good. So nice. Again, you can choose your variation. Wherever you are, think that you're turning the left side of the chest ever so slightly to the sky, and you're lifting your back calf away from the floor. Mark's doing this really well by anchoring the pinky edge of the foot, wrapping your left hip towards the midline of the mat. So good. And then start to straighten the front leg. And you can do this so many ways. Sometimes I play a little air guitar and like swing my arm in front of my face. Yeah, just to, add a little pizzazz. Good, it feels good. And then take your right arm alongside of your ear and bow your ribs. So it's a little different than a classical Trikonasana where we're working spinal length. Here, we're working to open up all of this lateral side body tissue. So really push the breath into the right side of the chest. So nice. One more big breath like that. Re-extend the right arm now And then bring your right hand to your hip and transition into Ardha Chandrasana half moon. So you're walking your fingertips forward. Pause in the half moon before you transition to Chapasana. And then if you wish, Ardha Chandrasana Chapasana, bending your right knee, catching a hold of the ankle and back bending. Awesome. Big full breath. So nice. Re-extend the leg. Bend your left knee, tap the right foot to the floor, extended side angle. So good. Right hand to the mat, downward facing dog. I was very quiet that time. I was like, don't mess with Mark's mojo. Good. Pause. Just feel the body. No vinyasa. Good. Shift forward to plank and lower all the way to your abdomen. Shalabhasana, locust pose. Interlace your fingers at your lower back. Push your pubic bone into the mat. Lift your chest and lift your legs. And you can choose here, if you want to keep your big toes together, that's more challenging. Some of us, it's going to feel really compressive there, and you might wish to separate your feet a little bit wider. You pick what feels appropriate. Again, you're finding that balance between gluteal stability and relaxation to support the back bend. Good. One more big full breath. Release the clasp and just rest for a moment. You can stack your hands, forehead down, or turn your head to one side as you wish. Couple big breaths. You might even sigh it out. Inhale through your nose. And feel the sweetness of your own breath. So nice. Sphinx pose. Bring your elbows directly underneath of your shoulders, forearms to the mat. And here again, the width of your feet is totally up to you. You might feel like having your feet wider is more comfortable in the back. Push your pubic bone into the mat and then energetically pull the mat towards you. Yes, to pull the chest through, nice and proud. And take a moment here. Okay, bend your right knee for me and then flex your ankle. Good. And now from here, try to lift your right knee off of the floor. It might not happen. Little pulses. Yes, good. Pubic bone down, keeping the height of the chest. Little taps. The heel goes up, up. Good. Nice. Now hold it up. Re-extend the right leg. Point your toe and lengthen it long. Yes, lower it back down. That was beautiful. Bend your left knee. Flex at the ankle. Try to pulse your knee up off of the floor. It might not come up, but do the action anyway, and a little tap. Up, up. That's so good. Awesome, Mark. Nice job at home. I know this is difficult. Hold it up. Point your toe, extend the leg, and lower it down. Good. Spin your forearms in and rest for a moment. Rest the forehead. Again, practice the pause. Take another Polaroid picture, a little snapshot of what's happening. There's no need to place a judgment on anything. Mindfulness is non-judgmental awareness of present moment with curiosity. So just feel. There's no need to even label it, just tracing the sensation. Like a pinball machine, it's just bouncing around. So nice. Come back into the Sphinx pose once again for the last time. Back onto the elbows. Good. Broaden your chest. Nice. Straighten your arms if you're able to. If you're not, that's totally fine. And now lift your right arm up off of the floor. Palm straight forward. All the way up. Yup. Palm forward. All the way up. Can you lift it up by your ear? I know he can. He has great back bends. Yes. Lower the right hand back down. Lift the left arm. If you can't do this, it's fine. You might be holding Sphinx pose. So good. Lower the left arm back down. Lower the elbows. Good. Rest again. It's surprisingly difficult when you pop up into that. It looks easy. It is not. Good. Okay. Before we move into Dhanurasana floor bow, we're going to do an active version of floor bow where you're not actually going to grab your ankles. So stretch your hands back towards your feet for me, Mark. Push your pubic bone into the mat. Bend both of your knees. Good. Don't grab your ankles, kick everything up. Yes, active bow pose. You're not going to get very far off the floor more than likely. 2 more big breaths. Now draw your heels to your butt, grab your ankles. Yes, it might be one at a time, and then kick into your hands. Lift the chest. So nice. Lift the thighs. Big breath. You might find a gentle rocking because of the movement of the breath in the belly. Amazing job. Good. Let go of your feet, stay up. Kick your legs long. Yes, and lower down. The sneak attack. Rest. Good. Rest for a moment. Please roll over onto your back and just rest 1 minute in Shavasana on your back. It's not your final Shavasana. It's just a pause. Don't get too excited. We have a little more work to do. Just let your body sink into the floor for a moment. Let the nervous system just relax a little bit. Back bends are really stimulating. Belly down back bends less so. But take a moment and check in with what's happening in your system. Are you stimulated? Is there fatigue, aliveness, indifference, numbness, joy, irritation? What can you be present for in your feeling self? Feel how quickly things shift. The more we start to tap into sensation and we realize how impermanent sensations are, life becomes more tolerable. Intense, difficult moments become more tolerable because we can look at them and go, this is just for right now. And at the same time, we can savor sweet moments because we can go, this is just for right now. And I need to hold it for the moment that it's here, knowing that everything is always fleeting. It attunes us again to that buoyancy of life. Feel the wave of the breath. All right. We are going to transition into Urdhva Dhanurasana, or upward bow pose. If this is not appropriate for you, you will practice bridge pose. Okay? Otherwise, bend your knees, bring the soles of your feet to the floor. So we're going to take a dynamic variation of this pose. Plant your hands next to your ears with your fingertips towards the shoulders. And the first thing you're going to do is just come to the crown of the head. Good. Yep, all the way up onto the crown. Good. Now straighten your arms. Good. Rebend the elbows, tap the head. Straighten the arms. Good. 3 more times like that. Urdhva Dhanurasana push-ups. Good. And you'll feel each time it gives you a little more range. Nice. And then hold your Urdhva Dhanurasana. Good. Eventually starting to work the shoulders towards the wrists. Mark is super strong. He's got really well-developed lats and whatnot, so there might be different restrictions here in the shoulders. It looks awesome. Good. 1 more big full breath. Yes, and then tuck the chin. It's okay. Tuck the chin and lower down. Got sweaty. Things happen. You're doing great, Mark. It's real, right? Anyone ever fallen out of a yoga pose before? Right? It's real life. I think we all appreciate authenticity. Rest on your back for a moment. Good. So anytime we do a big back bend, we want to back out by doing smaller back bends rather than just reverting quickly to the oppositional movement. So we're going to transition into a dynamic bridge pose. Bring your palms next to your hips down on the floor. As you breathe in, lift your hips, take your straight arms alongside of your ears. And as you exhale, lower your hips and lower your arms. Do that a few more times. Let the pacing of your breath dictate the length of the movement. So it's just a smooth in and out. So nice. The next time that you're up, keep your hips lifted and lower just your arms. And if you wish, you can interlace your hands under your lower back. Now puff your chest towards your chin. Lengthen your chin away from your chest ever so slightly so you're really finding this buoyancy in the chest. Good deep breaths. That's it. Super nice. And undo the interlace if you took it at the back and lower your back down onto the mat. Good. Really nice. Good. From here, pull your right knee into your chest and extend your left leg along the floor. And have a moment just hugging that knee into your chest. And then turn it into a spinal rotation. Take your right knee across and open up your right arm to a T shape. If it feels appropriate, you can turn your head to the right as well. Just unraveling a little bit of the tension in the lower back that might have cultivated during the practice through the activation of those lower back muscles. And then gently move back up to the center. Pull both knees into the chest and switch sides. Hug the left knee and right leg long. Give it a little squeeze before you transition. And then roll the knee across into your supine twist. Open the left arm to the side. The gaze might come out over your left shoulder. Really nice. Big breath. Couple more breaths here. There's a little sense of the navel point anchoring to the left, even as the torso is spinning right. And mindfully come back to the center, both knees into your chest. Good. Now take your palms flat on the floor again. Same arm movement as in the dynamic bridge, but on your in-breath, you'll be straightening your legs to the sky powerfully, and on the exhale, you'll bend the knees back into the chest and return the hands to the position they're in now. So breathe in, straighten your legs, take your arms alongside of your ears. Exhale, squeeze the knees in, lower the arms. Do that 3 more times. With your breath, just starting to bring some stability and symmetry back into the body. So nice. Good. And after this next one, you'll transition into Ananda Balasana, or happy baby pose. You'll pull your knees in, and then you can let everything soften. Squeeze your knees towards your armpits. Work to stack the ankles over the knees. So you might be holding on to the pinky edges of your feet like Mark is, or you might be holding your ankles or even your thighs. You might have a strap around your feet, whatever is appropriate. And I don't care what you do here. This is your moment to rock side to side, to enjoy the movement of the body. Take a couple big breaths here. Really nice. And then come back to the center, hug your knees into your chest one last time. And give yourself a genuine hug. Give real gratitude for this body that has just carried you through this practice and the effort. And then extend your legs and come to rest in a very comfy Shavasana. And for this Shavasana today, as you close your eyes and come to rest, I want you to tune in again to the sensation of the physical body. And if there's some intensity in the body, just acknowledge it without getting hooked by it or needing to assign meaning to it. Just allow it to be there. So for a moment, just a scan of your system. Now, as you let the breath just move however it wants to move, body breathing effortless, I want you to tune into a part of your body that either has vitality, that feels good, that you have the simple pleasure of the breeze on your skin, something that feels good. And if you can't find a part of your body that feels really good right now, find a place that there is absence of pain. I want you to just rest your awareness in that part of yourself that feels good. And now imagine that that part of your body has a color. Assign it a color, the first color that comes to mind, or the first color that you see if you're a visual learner. And see that area that is either pleasurable or absent of pain as a color, and that paint is starting to expand. And it's overtaking and coating the other colors that are present in the body. That goodness is expanding. Another image that might be useful is to think that it's like you're fanning the embers of a fire, of a flame, and expanding that capacity for goodness. And it might be a slow process, it might go quickly, but stay with the visualization and the intention of spreading the goodness until the whole of your body is at least a little bit aware of that sensation, of inviting pleasure, vitality, goodness into the body. And once the body is filled with that presence, just rest in awareness. Your relationship with your body is primary. All of the relating that you do comes through the body. Every thought and feeling you have only happens in one place, and that is in the body. And rather than having a combative relationship with the body where we're always disciplining, always correcting, always overriding, our real goal is to build a relationship of intimacy. So that even when we're seeking some kind of expansion or growth in the body, that it's coming from love, not because the body needs to be formed, shaped, corrected to receive love. From love. You might, for the next minute or so, if it's a part of your body you can feel, or just put your hands anywhere on your body that you can reach, put your palms on somewhere on your body. Hands are the extension of the heart energetically. So feel your fingertips, your palms, your hands as an extension of your heart. There's a reason why every culture in the world lays hands on for healing. So lay hands on yourself. On this temple of flesh and blood and bone that is the altar in the ritual, in the ongoing ceremony of life. tune in. I want you to think of one thing that you absolutely love about your body, and it might be as simple as, thank goodness for my eyes and their ability to take in beauty, or it might be something, whatever. I love my belly for letting me digest delicious food. Something that doesn't feel fake, though, that it's real. You can feel it and own it. And take a moment in that gratitude for your body. And take a nice big deep breath in through your nose. And exhale and let it out your mouth. Again, a deep breath in. A long breath out. The body is the shore on the ocean of being, so say the Sufis. So can you allow the ocean of being that continually crashes on that shore to be the moving experience that it is? So when there's pain, we don't have to paint the world and life as painful, as Mark Nepo says, but instead just let these be the crashing waves of experience, knowing that another wave is coming. That's the macro view. And we can tune into that through present sensation. And trust the buoyancy. Please begin to take some movements in the body. Roll out your ankles and wrists, fingers, toes. A couple big breaths. Just starting to come back into the body in an even more tangible way. And when you're ready, bend your knees and bring your feet to the floor. Mindful of how you're transitioning, roll to your right side. Pause in the fetal position. And use your left hand to gently press yourself up with your eyes closed into a seat. I'm just going to wiggle up here next to Mark. Just take a moment, hands flat on your chest, bow your chin. Again, gratitude, this body, this breath that carries you. Can you accept yourself in whatever state you're in? Can you love who you are and still pursue who you want to be from love, from that feeling self? Rub your palms together in front of your face, nice and vigorous. Cup your palms over your eyes, fingertips on your hairline, soften the muscles around your eyes. Open your eyes behind your hands, let in the darkness. Release your palms, let in the light, and welcome yourself back. Thank you so much for practicing with me. My name is Selena Garofino. I'm the founder and the creator of the Evolve Method, a method that's been used to certify and train hundreds of teachers all over the world, using foundational knowledge of classical yoga studies, functional anatomy, and personal development coaching. Our Yoga Alliance approved course provides an immersive exploration of asana, pranayama, meditation, functional anatomy, business of yoga, teaching methodologies, and so much more. The Evolve Method is about more than a physical practice. It's about you learning to better navigate every single area of your life, to be the author of your story, to live out your dreams, and bring your medicine to the world. This truly embodies what it is to be a part of the Evolve Method. Complete your 200-hour Yoga Alliance accredited training in 8 weeks online with me, or do it at your own pace. We will see you on the mat.